People assume the dead are quiet. I used to think that too, before that night. I've been a forensic pathologist for 17 years, which is 17 years too long in my opinion. Every day I open up corpses, learn their secrets, and then return to a house that echoes with silence and loss. You get used to it. That evening, I was already 2 hours past my usual sign-off. My daughter Lily was turning 19 the next day. She was staying at my ex-wife's place, and I'd promised to pick her up by 9 p.m., take her home, and spend the next day car shopping. College was just weeks away. I wanted that special day to be with her. But I had 3 bodies to process. The last one, case number 3, was a rush. Homicide needed results by morning. So I kept my head down, trying to beat the clock. The clock didn't care. It is true for everyone. At around 8:30 p.m., the automatic door at the far end of the corridor clanked open. I heard the squeaky wheels of a gurney being pushed in. No knock, no announcement. Just a delivery. The hallway outside the autopsy room is long, nearly 100 yards of pale green linoleum, flickering fluorescence, and that ever-present hum that presses on your ears. The only security guard, McNally, was at the far end in the booth. I called him. "Ambulance just dropped a DOA," he mumbled. "Said they left the paperwork. We'll be back shortly." That was odd. Paperwork always came first. No tag on the toe, no ID on the zipper. Just a pale white body bag on a steel trolley, left at my door like a forgotten package. Still, I had case number 3 to finish. A stabbing. Messy. Took me till 9:20. I called Lily around 8:45 and told her I'd be late. She didn't mind. She was too excited about the car to care. At least one of us was having a good night. But curiosity's a beast. At 9:30, I wheeled over to the unknown arrival, unzipped the bag all the way. The man inside was muscular, early 40s, covered in tattoos, none of them ordinary. Occult symbols, inverted crosses, crescent moons, archaic runes, pale, waxy skin, and no signs of trauma. No rigor, no blood pooling, but 2 small puncture wounds on either side near the upper trapezius on both sides. Symmetrical, clean, too tidy for a wild animal, too strange for an IV. If you don't understand all this, pathologist, the simple word is the neck area. It's odd but not alarming, seen worst. I held his hand, cold. The right hand missing 2 last fingers. Seems like old wound healed many years ago. He had no pulse, no respiration, as expected. I zipped the bag down to the waist again and wheeled the trolley beside the freezer unit. I resumed the last of the paperwork. I was almost done when I heard it. A breath. Sharp. Hoarse. Like air pushing through lungs that shouldn't work anymore. My head snapped up. I looked at the zipped man. The bag was now open all the way to his ankles. I know I didn't unzip it that far. I approached. His body was limp. Arms not stiff, fingers curled loosely, like he just died. That really intrigued me, especially people in my line of work. As I was baffled, came movement. Not from the body, but from the hallway. A flash across the glass door, a shadow, then across again, too fast to be someone walking. I stepped out. At the far end of the corridor, I saw a woman. Just a second, and then gone. The hair on my neck stood straight. When I turned back toward the body, his arms were hanging loosely off the sides of the trolley. That's strange. I didn't leave them like that. Panic stirred in my chest. Something is not right here. I shoved case number 3 into the freezer, scribbled the findings, signed the chart, and placed it in the tray for the morning team to pass it to the office. It was 10:30 p.m. when I returned to the unknown man to zip him up and seal him in the freezer. But now, both arms were back in position, like a corpse ready for a funeral, except his fingernails were longer. I'm not crazy. They were at least half an inch beyond the nail bed. It was not my imagination as I held his hand a few moments ago, and his lips, slightly curled now, revealing the faintest points of elongated canines. It wasn't there earlier. I've been around hundreds or even thousands of corpses in my 17 years career. Never once I felt like this creepy feeling, like someone was watching me. I took a deep breath, zipped him up fully, and shoved the trolley bed into freezer slot 7. Off you go. I said in my heart, I am done here. I went to my table and made a small note to stick on the freezer door. If not, the morning team will not be able to identify the body when the paperwork comes back. Just as I turned to go and stick the note, I heard it, a growl, from inside the freezer, and a strong thudding sound, like something wants to crawl out. To be honest, I was scared. I backed away slowly and headed straight to the morgue door. The hallway was deathly silent again, until she appeared. At the far end of the corridor, the same woman. Only this time, in the blink of an eye, she was standing next to me. The gush of air, when something moving fast hit me. She smelled like flowers. You may be thinking that she should smell rot and death, but nope. She smiled, revealing her fangs, and then she leaned in close. Her breath was cold on my ear. "You better hurry up, Doc," she whispered. "My mate is waking up for the first time. Newborn, unpredictable. Our dinner is at the end of the hallway, unless you are still here." She gave an eerie, soft laughter. I ran. I don't remember breathing. My legs moved faster than an Olympian runner. The guard booth never felt so far. McNally looked up at me like I was a ghost. "There's a woman in the building," I barked. "Call security." He just shrugged. "Nobody's stealing corpses, Doc. Relax." He started to lecture me. "I think you need more living human contact, Doc. Not those stiffed kind of people that you open up every day." I said to him, "Whatever," and I didn't wait much. I jumped in my car and tore down the road like a madman. Reached my ex's place by 11:30 p.m. Lily was still beaming, holding her overnight bag. "Dad, you okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I lied. "Just tired. Let's go home." On 9th September 1974, I bought my daughter a light blue Ford Pinto. She was ecstatic, promised me she studies hard, and everything in between that a dad wants to hear. It was around 2 p.m. when my boss called my home. "The morgue was broken into last night," he said, tension in his voice. Every freezer was open, but nothing was stolen. No bodies missing, no equipment touched. I froze. "What about McNally?" I asked. "Missing. Didn't sign out. No one's seen him since last night," boss replied. I went in the next morning and gave my statement. I told about the mystery body, the woman, the weird symbols. I did not say about the paranormal side. I did not want anyone to think I am crazy. About the paperwork, the delivery, nothing. No logs, no ambulance records, no dispatch. Nothing to prove the man ever existed. This is 1974. There was no CCTV around. 1 week later, at 10:32 p.m., I was stopped at a red light near 5th and Bramble. That's when I saw them. The man from the freezer, standing outside a gothic nightclub, tattooed hands, only 3 fingers on his right hand, the same face, same eyes, and her, the hallway women beside him, pale and grinning. He pointed at me as they were laughing. I floored the gas, and when I got home, I had an uneasy feeling lingering. It was about 11:30 p.m. when I looked out my apartment window. They were there, across the street, watching, smiling, one of them touching their fangs. That night I didn't sleep. I didn't dare. I quit the next day and packed up my things. Moved 100 miles north, where Lily would start college. Found a quiet teaching position in forensic science, and I don't touch the dead anymore. They never found McNally, but I believe I know what happened to him. It's just that no cop's going to believe me. I never saw both of the vampires again. I never knew why the man's body was delivered to the morgue that night, and why they appeared across my apartment that night.